Oh, okay.
The stream is live.
We're watching the DJI Mavic 4 Pro here. That's not Marcus there. Well, it's Marcus driving. That's Marcus in that buggy.
That doesn't look like a Corvette.
Well, it has a Corvette engine in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Look at it. Nice donuts there up there, Marcus.
Yeah, he did a pretty good little donut, huh?
That's Lauren on the sticks there on the quadcopter.
Lauren's on the sticks. Yeah.
That's Lauren's assistant getting it ready for him.
Slam that battery in pretty quick.
Is that Sean over in Spain? He's got one of those, Ron.
Yes, Sean the drone. He said he wasn't going to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, imagine how dusty his screen is.
That's a BRP, isn't it? Yeah, that's a BRP. That's a Canadian.
There's a low light there, guys.
Yeah. That's a Canadian side-by-side, so that must be Lauren's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
BRP by Bombardier.
Bombardier.
There it is. All right, folks. Here we go. Let's see. Let's get ready to start the show here. I'm gonna get set up over here now that we played our little DJI Pro video. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And welcome into DroneNation for June 23rd, 2025. Summer drone flying season is finally here. I've got to mute some sound over here. And before we get started too much here, I got a couple show notes. These are last-minute things. There will be a new show on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's taking the place of Scott Francis' old show, Jackrabbit FPV. He's no longer, I guess, streaming in that time slot. And the show will be called The Drone Rogues. Again, it'll be at 6 p.m. Monday nights from now on. And it's going to have Josh Pymark and John Gregory, C.T. Pyre, the co-host of the new Drone Rogue show. And the first episode is next Monday night, which I believe is the 30th. So, put it on the calendar. And
congrats, guys.
Couple other notes. I want to send out thoughts and prayers for Bill the Drone Reviewer. Why Bill the Drone Reviewer? His hockey team just won a Stanley Cup, but unfortunately, we think he may have caught the COVID at the game.
Oh, no.
He's under the weather now, sick. So whether he's on tomorrow night, stay tuned. I didn't get word one way or the other. And also Brian Singleton, who's recovering from surgeries. Send your thoughts and prayers out for True Drone Reviews. Brian's trying to get back on his feet again, so researching. And I'm going to go to Lauren. It's been, a little over a year now since you had your heart surgery, right?
Yep.
How are you feeling a year later?
Oh. Well, I guess this is a family show. I won't say no. Actually, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. And of course, this is summer drone flying season. Has summer hit Canada yet, Lauren? Are you?
Oh yeah. We've had lots of days where it's been way too hot, but the last week we've had just a ton of rain. In the last 24 hours, we've had a month's worth of rain, and June is normally our wet month of the year, so it hasn't been great.
I know, Marcus, you've been fighting some high temperatures already. Yeah,
it got all the way up to 65 degrees yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah, no. So to your point, Ron, 2 days before that, it was in the 90s, and then it dropped off literally by 30 degrees into the 60s, which truthfully is kind of pleasant. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. Yeah. And DeMarco, have you been fighting some high temperatures?
No, well, the last 4 or 5 days, this month and last month, we've just got a lot of rain has come. A lot has rained.
We had a lot of rain too.
Yeah. I mean, so it hasn't rained since I think Thursday here though, so that's good to open 90s today, high 80s. So, yay!
Sounds like a lot of rain all over the place. So
DeMarco, you haven't been able to get out flying much, I guess, huh?
No. In fact, I was last out last Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mavic 3.
Mavic 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or Mavic 4 maybe.
Well, no.
Hey, folks, we have a special mystery guest come on the show tonight, and he just popped in the back room, and the shrimp's running low tonight, so we better get him on stage here, all the way from Long Island, New York. Our favorite, Captain Ray Kelly. How are you?
Hey, Ron, Marcus, Lauren,
Ray.
DeMarco.
Hello, sir.
How you all doing?
We're doing good. We were all talking about the weather, how the hot weather's finally got here, Ray.
I know. I'll tell you, it's here. I wanted to jump in the pool, but I said I didn't have time. I got to go on DroneNation.
There you go.
The
Mark,
premier drone brand in the United States now.
Are you allowed to show that?
Yeah, that's the premier brand. We're all going to be flying Holy Stone now.
Holy Stone.
Made in the USA. One of the big stories tonight, Ray and I had a conversation this afternoon about, and Lauren, we talked about before the show. We got a big topic come up, but I do want to get a little business taken care of first. This is the DroneNation deal of the day, and this deal was sent in by our good friend Richard. Is Richard out there in the chats tonight? Richard sent this to us last week. We crossed our fingers that the deal was still going to be in play tonight, and I checked an hour ago. And the DJI Mini 3, now it's not the Mini 3 Pro, the plain Jane Mini 3, Marcus has reviewed it many times on his channel, is only $369 on Amazon.com. Again, an hour ago I checked it. And why this is even more important today, it's hard to find DJI drones anymore, and this one's still up there. And I know we talked about this briefly before, but Marcus, you've flown this drone and you've given it your seal of approval, haven't you?
I like the Mini 3 standard. Yeah, it gives you that same camera as the Mini 4, but
Pro.
Yeah, as the Mini 3 Pro.
Yeah.
In that it just doesn't have as many features, no obstacle avoidance, etc. So I mean, it's a good price for a good flying nice drone.
So $369, that's about say about $170 jump over the Mini 4K, right? So you think it's worth that extra $170?
Depends on who you are. If listen, what I always tell people is buy the most expensive DJI drone you can afford. But yeah, I'd say it's worth it. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And I have the DroneNation affiliate link in the subject set, or the, what do you call that, where you write all the stuff down, the subject. It's in there. So click that link if you want to get it, help the channel out. And also we have a bonus DroneNation deal of the day, the GoPro Hero. Not the Hero any number. The I think it came out alongside maybe the Hero 12, and it's a scaled down GoPro Hero. It doesn't have the front screen. It's smaller, more compact. It's on sale for only $169 on Amazon, and I just checked that this morning too, and that deal was still there. So if you want kind of it's still got 4K and all that, but it just doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
It may be all we're going to be able to get in the U.S. is the GoPros. So
they're not made in America, but invented in America.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can actually buy one in America as opposed to you can't buy DJI cameras anymore. So
we'll get to that. Yeah, the Mini 5. I mean the Action 5 Pro is not available in the U.S. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. Well, we might as well just jump right into it. It's the big story of the day.
It is
on the board here. It's story 6 here. Lauren, you have something. Oh, I see you're ready there. Thank you, Lauren. I'm going to pop up. I got a little graphic here that pop up too here. I think this is coming from, let's see here. This is it here. Yeah.
Ron, while you're doing that, I was always a DJI fanboy. I always admitted to it. Now I'm a Holy Stone fanboy.
Oh boy, listen to Marcus.
The sales are going to go through the roof now.
You got to roll with the punches, boys.
There you go.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, here we go. Can you guys see that? Yeah, here. This is from I'm so cute. I'll get some music. This is from our buddy Hi Castello over at DroneXL.co, and this story is from yesterday, the 22nd, and the title is DJI drone stock crisis deepens as the U.S. ban looms. Why are the shelves bare? And I'm not going to read everything here, but he's showing here some graphics. We're going to show in a minute here. A lot of, you can go over to DJI's website right now, and almost US website, web store, and almost every drone has the same out of stock red logo, whether it's a Mini, an Air, a Mavic 3, the FPV drone. They're all, out of stock. And
so Ron, I'm going to ask you the big question right off the bat. Do you think that DJI is giving up on the U.S. market?
Well, I'm gonna go to Ray here. Ray and I had a discussion today, and Ray thinks this may be what I'm not gonna talk to Ray. You think this may be a move by DJI that kind of spur the customers to reach out to their representatives, right, Ray?
Yeah, that and speed up the investigation. Either ban us or don't ban us. Yeah,
Well,
I think it's a temporary thing, and then
I-
it'll be resolved one way or the other.
What I think you guys need to do is not necessarily really push to get the investigation started, but get rid of that deadline. If they get rid of that deadline, then that's basically going to solve a lot of.
But Lauren, it's already in the bill, and the bill passed last year, so
Bills
really
can be changed, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna support Lawrence, Marcus. That TikTok had a hard date.
It's not
And
the
Trump-
same thing,
Trump
Ron.
keeps pushing that back.
It's not the same thing. Not even
Okay.
close. This was a bill that was passed by Congress. That TikTok date was an arbitrary thing.
That wasn't a
Yeah.
bill. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, not being political, but in the political climate now, the president can pretty much do anything he wants on stuff like that.
I didn't get a chance to read the article by Drone DJ. Hey, but who did he get his information from? Some higher up at DJI?
The website.
Various locations. As a matter of fact, like Hay might be in the lurking in the chat right now, because him and I had a little discussion on
How you doing,
Saturday,
Hi?
and he said he was going to try and see if he could come into the chat, but I don't know if he's here or not. But
If he's in the chat, he'd like to join us and tell his side of it. I could send him a link. That's no problem. So go ahead, Lauren. Finish your thought.
like we had a chat, and I told him about what the screen I've got up here, that if you want to present that, Ron, it's like this is going to the same website as you guys go to, but for me, everything's in stock, right?
Yeah, that's a drone there that's never been seen on the U.S.
Never been seen by U.S. eyes. Yeah.
So I can go. Let's go to the Air, and let's go to the Air 3S, right? Everything's in stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So this brings up for me, and I think the rest of us, this brings up a little bit of a moral conundrum. In other words, we have talked about that there's people that are buying like the Mavic 4 Pro from South Korea on
Right.
eBay. And for instance, we know some people have traveled up north, and I'd love to go up and visit Lauren no matter what. So it'd be fun to bring a drone home. The problem I have with it is at some point you're going to have to not be honest, because you're going to have to declare it. You should declare it as you cross the border. That's the problem I have with it. I don't have a problem going up to Canada and buying a drone.
What do you think they would hit you for a tariff or a tax, import tax?
And you know what, Ray, to your point, I might even be willing to pay that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I don't, that's what I'd like to know. Would they just take the drone from you, or
No.
would they?
How would they know that you actually bought it there?
Because I would declare it.
You declare it, right?
I'm not going to lie, DeMarco.
Oh, I would.
Well, that's. I mean, it's like I said, it's a moral conundrum. That's what it is.
I was so nervous one
not for
time.
me.
I bought my wife a piece of jewelry on a cruise, and I thought I went over that limit. I think it was $800,
Yeah.
and you had to tell them, you know. But to make a long story short, I told them, you know, and okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So what? You just had to pay a tax on it, Ray, or
No, he said, okay, no problem.
Okay. No, I mean, Marcus. Yes, I mean, I'm not hating on you or trying to make fun of you for that, though. But no, the government's not going to fall because I didn't pay a tax of $300.
Yeah, I get your point, DeMarco, but I don't know. I just want to be on the up and up.
Like Mark said, moral conundrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to show it on the screen here, but I can't get it working. But I went to the DJI store just a couple hours ago. The Mini 4K is out of stock in all forms, you know, the Air in all packages, the Mavic 3, the FPV drone, everything, even like the Action 5 Pro's out. But there are some odd things. Like I could buy certain configurations of the DJI mic. Lauren, I could buy stuff like the Rowan cameras that cost like thousands of dollars. I could buy certain Rowan cameras. I can still buy the DJI Power. So there are some non-drone products still available.
Isn't that weird? I looked through all the refurb stuff, and it's all shows is out of stock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they can't, if DJI chooses not to make the products available here because of tariffs, because of the drone ban bill, whatever, pick your reason. Custom issues. Why is it still a handful of things that don't fall under any of those issues or whatever? I mean,
wouldn't it be nice to know that? I know.
Like the phone gimbal, you can still buy certain configurations of the Osmo Mobile 7.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice to know, Ron? I'm with that.
It should be like an all or nothing, right?
Yeah.
On a brighter note, I bought a Neo today, but I had to go through Amazon to get it.
Were you able to get it for the regular price of $199?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Because in High's article, he mentions it's not just DJI.com store that's out. You can go to places like B&H Photo, Adorama, you know, Best Buy, some of the other sites, and the stuff's not available in there either. Now, Amazon still does have some of the stuff, but at High said, you better get it now because it's going fast. Plus, lots of times you find buyers who have marked the stuff up beyond the listed price.
That's what I've heard.
And okay, that's a great point, Ron. I'm telling you, if you have been thinking about buying that Air 3S or Mini 4K or whichever drone it is, now is the time for action. Get on Amazon and get it now, because it looks like everything's being emptied. Because just like what Ron just said, Adorama, B&H, Best Buy has been out of DJI drones for months and months and months. So there's something cooking. There's something going on. And if you want one in the United States, you better get it now.
Hey, currently I'm not in the game to actually buy a drone, but what I'm not worried about, though, but what I'm thinking about is if it's damaged and need a repair. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious whether or not you guys have the same prices listed.
How much is that? It's sort of hard to see. Is that 13?
This is the Air 3S.
Hang on, let me tell you. I'll tell you real quick.
No, Lauren, the combo, it was tariff price up to like $21.99, but it was on sale for $50.99, which brought down the price it was before they added the tariff.
That was a good sale.
Yeah, the RC N3 single battery version is $10.99.
$10.99. Okay, because here it's showing $10.29.
What's your
How much
combo?
is that middle one, Lauren? Is that
what's the
13, 15?
That's the combo. That's $13.15.
Okay.
And by the way, I just noticed those are U.S. quoted in U.S. dollars, aren't they, Lauren? So when you went to check out, you would actually pay more.
How much would the shipping be?
Good question.
Well, you can't. Lauren says for sure he can't type in any place in the U.S. Like he couldn't type in New York; it just won't let him do
No,
it.
it won't let me do a shipping to New York. I have to. It's got to go to a Canadian address.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so that just brings something up that I just thought of, Lauren. Drone Dynamics. If I went on their website or I called them up, could they ship me a drone down to the US?
Yep.
There's a thought.
But there's no guarantee that package won't get flagged and you have to pay customs.
Well, but I get your point, Ron.
Well, at that point, you just cancel it then.
Well, yeah, and then not only that, it's no different from people ordering something on eBay, I guess, from South Korea.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the South Korea people have in their wording though that you could have to pay a duty or tariff, and I think the wording is that you can't cancel. You know, if you order it.
Oh, is that right?
If you read their legal language, I think they're trying to say you can't cancel because of duty or tariffs. You have to pay at your destination. They say they have no control over that.
Where the heck is that?
International shipping. We ship across Canada and the United States and beyond.
There you go.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was some questions about the Mini 5 Pro. A lot of people were looking forward to the Mini 5 Pro, and of course, you know, if it doesn't show up the website, you can't order it. But maybe you could get it through South Korea or drive to Canada. But here's my question: I'll go to anybody in the panel. Did the Mini 5 Pro get FCC approval yet? Do we know that?
I don't think so.
No, I guarantee it hasn't.
So does that mean that since it hasn't got FCC approval, if you brought one in from another country, that it wouldn't be able to fly here? Is that correct?
You'd be illegal. In other words, if it doesn't have FCC approval, I'm sure you could fly it.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to register it with the FAA, I'm sure.
But DJI might shut you down though.
And that's possible. Yeah.
Right.
But hey, Marcus, Rod, you cut it too short. I was going to ask Marcus to shut down the drones, and you'll have to start reviewing the robots.
The robots, yeah, heck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Robo Taxi was released today in Austin, Texas.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So here, this is what you need to see here, right? All U.S. customers, all orders shipped from Canada are subject to tariffs and brokerage fees, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the customer is liable, as it should be. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mavic 4 Pro, of course, was approved for FCC, so it would be legal to fly and register in the U.S.
And FAA as well. In other words, the remote ID has to be in the FAA database as well in order to register it with the FAA.
So if the Mini 5, we'll just say the Mini 5 Pro has not been granted FCC approval, then you're really taking a risk bringing it into the U.S.
Well, you would be flying it illegally because without FCC approval.
Risk number one, yes.
And without being able to register it, if you put the heavy battery in it and you're over, you need to register it with the FAA. And if you can't do that, you would certainly be illegal. And then the third thing is, like Lauren said, could DJI then geofence it? It's possible.
Yeah.
Although, Lauren, I wonder about that, because say you as a Canadian citizen, say you came down to the Florida meetup, brought your Mini 5 with you. However, now that I think that through, it would still be illegal, because even as a Canadian, when you come to the U.S. with your drone, you got to register on the FAA website, and it would have to be legal with the FCC. So it would still be not legal to fly.
Well, not only that, but because you guys would need to register your drone, right?
Yes.
Right.
And again, so there's no FCC approval for it, right? So
yes.
Now, so here's the US dollar price on the Mavic 4.
I like that price.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that's
then,
the RC or the RC2, Ron.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the Fly More combo, which it's straight from DJI, it's $100 less.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same price.
Okay. A little bit of a markup. Yeah.
And shipping is calculated at checkout. So,
Lauren, have you got to see the new RC Pro 2 controller yet?
yep.
Oh, okay. Is it worth getting that over the regular RC 2 controller here? Is it worth?
No comment at this time.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
No, you have to know the backstory, Ray, which I can't talk about.
Yeah.
We'll have you on down the road to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down the road a little bit.
Well, but now the RC Pro 2 is already out, so why would you not be able to talk about that? I mean, it's already out.
No.
Again,
don't put them on the hot seat.
during broadcast, I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'm just, it just confused me.
But
I'm old. I'm easily confused.
Well, DJI is still the best drone. That's all I can say.
Well, Ray, we're going to have to wait for
You
those American
say
drones.
that now, Captain Ray. But when was the last time you flew a good old Holy Stone? I'm just
I
telling
know. Yeah. One time. That was enough of me.
Now, I will ask Laura another question. This band. Sometimes you see it's a DJI band. Sometimes it's a Chinese drone band or whatever. I mean, DJI drones are all gone off the website. They're not sold here. But all these other made in China drones, I can get a Holy Stone, a Potensic, a Femi. I can get them like it's nothing or whatever. They're all made in China too. Is it really a Chinese drone band or is it just a DJI band?
John Cuppy says the FCC already approved the Mini 5.
Mini 5 Pro. Thanks, John.
Ron, I mean, just from looking at it, Ron, it looks like a DJI band.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. Sometimes they say Chinese drone ban, but it seems like it's only one Chinese drone that's not for sale anymore. One Chinese drone maker. Nobody else has pulled their drones down. Has Walmart cleared all their Chinese drones off the shelf? I don't think so.
I don't know. I haven't looked lately.
I just wanted to show you guys this solar farm I was flying at.
Wow.
That's a big one. That's a big one, Lauren.
3,330 acres.
Wow.
It is the largest solar farm in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. Now stop right there, Lauren. So the province in Canada that has more oil and gas than probably anything ever. And here's a big solar farm and a wind farm right behind it.
As I say, I see the wind farm off to the right there.
In that particular area, there is about 300 to 400 windmills.
That's a lot of grass to cut. Yikes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But
They got machines to do that now, DeMarco.
I hope so.
Does anybody see any hope in the near future that the DJI drones go back on sale in the U.S.?
How would we know?
Oh no.
Yeah.
to be honest, like I say, I think the best thing you guys could do would be to pressure them to either change the deadline date or get underway. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Sarah and I are coming up to move into your spare bedroom, Lauren.
Okay.
Then I can still fly.
So right now it's not a good. If you already have a bunch of drones, if like a lot of us at the show, if you have a whole closet full of drones, you'll be good. You'll be good for years or whatever till the batteries start to die down or you crash them and destroy them or something like that. But we'll be good. And Ray, I know you said you ordered a Neo today. It's somebody in the chat there, a guy down in South Florida who also ordered a Neo. His is coming tomorrow.
Well, John Gregory made the donation for the South Florida drone meetup, and I didn't want to take a chance by not getting one at that price.
Right.
And that's why I placed the order today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a giveaway price for the 6th annual South Florida drone meetup.
I should send you one because I've got one sitting around I never use.
We graciously accept it, Lauren.
I flew that very drone over the Snake River Canyon, Lauren.
Oh, that's the one? That's the drone?
Yeah.
Marcus approved drone.
Before it was available here, Lauren brought it down with him and said, "Here, fly it." I launched it right over the canyon.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Cool. Well, let's go. Let's get off the downer. You know, the DJI store is empty now, and go to story number 2 on the list. We talked about this a little bit more, but there's more information come up since last week. The new DJI Rebinding Process is now in effect. It started on June 19th. And is this only for the U.S. or is this for Canada too, Lauren? This new
Everywhere.
rebinding?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Worldwide. Yeah.
DJI is strictly enforcing the account binding rules for secondhand drones. Before you buy a used DJI drone, make sure the previous owner has unbound the drone and the controller from their DJI account. Now, Nobby Green over in the UK, he did an excellent video where he posted the whole procedure that he had to do to unbind the drone, the controller, everything. And I got a link down below to go over and check.
Just did it the other day.
That's good.
Not that tough.
You did it? You did it, Marcus?
Well, yeah, I sold my my Mavic 3 Pro to a guy, and I was out at the park, and I flew it. And while he was there with me, watching me, I unbound it from my account, and then I also, the part that I think a lot of people leave out is I reset the controller to factory settings. In other words, it deletes all of your stuff out of it, so the controller is not connected to you at all either.
All right, that's good. I got to do it. I'm sending my Mavic 3 to my son tomorrow, so I'm going to unbind it and let him rebind it.
Yeah, super easy. I mean, it's so easy. It's not even. Yeah.
And why rebinding matters is if your account isn't here. Oh, DeMarco's come back. If your account isn't properly linked to the drone's remote controller, you may see in-app warnings. Flight distance and altitude could be severely restricted. DJI flyaway coverage and repair service may not apply. You may lose the ability to lock the drone remotely if it goes missing. This policy affects most current DJI drone models, including. I'm not going to read a list off because it's every Mavic, Air, Mini, Avata, and
so Ron, have you ever tried to fly your drone when you forgot to re-register on your controller?
And you wonder why you only got 100 feet away or something.
Exactly what it'll do. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys know why this is happening?
No. Oh, do tell. Do tell.
Yeah.
You might have heard, but there's a little bit of military action happening in other countries.
Oh, I've heard something about that.
And DJI keeps their drones are, shall we say, the premium drones that they like to use for cost and ability. Besides the fact that they're now building their own drones, but the fact is if they cut down on this shall we say rogue users, then it's going to cut down on the amount of people that are using them in wartime.
Okay.
But that being said, the other thing is for you guys, well, and me as well, but if you ever get your drone stolen, then now the best thing you can do is go to your DJI account and change your password.
Immediately, yeah.
Okay.
Because then if that person needs, because every so often you have to log into DJI, like it or not, that person will basically end up with kind of a brick drone.
Brick drone, right?
Yeah.
Good tip, Lauren.
Yeah.
So, it's a good point, Lauren, because somebody said, well, if I bought a used drone from Marcus and he gave me the drone and controller, well, if I never did anything, if I wasn't interested in tying to my account, I could just fly forever like that. But you made a good point. You can't, because every once in a while they want you to relog back into the app.
And that's part of the reason why they brought that in, is because this was coming, right?
So I get those warnings every so often from DJI where they'll say, hey, you haven't used this controller in more than 30 days. You're going to have to, So,
and this is, going to be coming to play in the U.S. now that the only way to get a DJI drone going forward now is to buy one that's already here, used or whatever. So this is even going to be more comes into play, that it's going to be a lot of used drones exchanging hands, and you're going to have to, as a buyer and a seller, you're going to have to be very cautious. So right now, I'd be real leery about buying a used drone online, because at least if I meet up with somebody while they're standing right there, I can make sure that it's unbound while that person's still standing there, and before I've handed them my money.
So Ron, when I sold that Mavic 3 Pro, I wanted him to link it to his account right there in front of me, so that I knew he wouldn't have any problems with it. Well, he said he didn't have the time to do that, so I said, well, okay. I mean, I knew I had unbound it from my account, but I kind of wanted him. I'm going to get on my soapbox for just one moment, if you'll let me.
For what? Oh, I want to talk after you. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, it was based on what you just said, Lauren. You're talking about DJI, and they're talking about how they want their equipment to be used responsibly, right?
Yeah.
So they're a good corporate citizen. They're trying to make sure that people are using their products responsibly. There is no place else in the world that has a problem with DJI products and DJI drones except for the United States of America. And that is so supremely frustrating. What do we see as a problem with DJI that other countries like Canada or Europe, my friend Sean over in Europe just bought a new Mavic 4 in Spain. People all over the world have access to these supremely great products from a company that we know is a responsible supplier. It's just frustrating. Okay, so I'm going to get off my soapbox and let Lauren talk.
I second it, Marcus.
There you go.
It's strictly political. There is no argument about it. But
is it really? I mean, I don't know, Lauren. I wish I knew that.
Hey, we are here, and it is legal to actually bribe a congressman or something like that. It's legal. It's called campaign donations.
I can go down. I can go down to Sportsman's Warehouse and buy a short barrel shotgun and take it right home with me. So I don't know, but I can't buy a drone.
But anyway, I was going to say I highly recommend that people don't sell drones online. Like basically in Canada, you're darn near illegal to do that, because a requirement for any drone over 250 grams, when you sell it, you need to pass on your maintenance records to the new owner.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's part of our regulations. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What maintenance do you do to your drones, Lauren?
Whatever.
Change the oil?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Props.
Well,
Yep.
believe it or not, if you go through your DJI manual, there is specified maintenance you're supposed to do.
I know in the older drones there was like battery maintenance and things like that.
Yeah. Well, you should still be doing battery maintenance. That's one of the key ones. But like basically every 200 hours, I change out my props, whether they need it or not.
Okay.
Right.
Batteries. I mean, basically, as long as you're doing your proper battery stuff, the only thing you need to do with those would be to clean your battery contacts. So,
yeah.
And coast to coast, you're probably right, in my opinion.
Let me get down way behind here. Coast behind him.
Hey, what is probably gonna happen with some of these drones is someone's gonna buy one that's linked to someone else's account. They'll call up DJI because they haven't seen this warning. DJI will tell them no and say, hey, there's nothing we can do for it. And then that person who bought their drone will probably just sell it to the next person.
Well, the other exactly right. That's what I would be afraid of too, DeMarco.
The other thing is they want the ownership records kept up to date, because if something bad happens, somebody intentionally booby traps a drone and flies it into the White House. They want to know who owns that thing, right?
Yes.
And so if you're not, they're going to go to the first person that's obvious, and that's going to be DJI, right? And say, okay, who owns this drone? But the thing being is, if you've sold the drone and you haven't logged out, it's still going to show you own that drone, but you don't, right?
Barkley has a good point there. You're right, Barkley. They don't need the U.S.
I'm way behind here.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure I 100% agree with it. Just because it's such a huge market. I mean, they're, you know, it's a money deal. It's a money making deal. They want
the business, of course.
They want the business, but to your point,
It's gravy there.
maybe what Barkley is saying, that the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right?
Yeah.
It's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. Or like Ray said earlier, they're trying to make a point with this or whatever, you know, make some kind of point.
But well, what I also will agree with is, yeah, they'll survive fine without the U.S. market. They don't need to sell drones to us.
I think it's
Yeah.
gravy to them, Marcus. It's gravy. It's like, yeah, you know, like we would love to have you, but all right.
Intel Maxwell Road says firmware updates are
Yeah.
also considered maintenance.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's move on to story number 3. We have an update on last week's story about the rumored DJI cameras and mics coming in July. Can't speak to the U.S. These are rumored dates of release. This is from Igor sharing this over on his account on Twitter. He says the Osmo 360 camera, 7/15, July 15th. The Osmo Nano camera, 7/23, and the Mic 3, 7/29. So basically, the last 3 weeks, and I believe they're all Thursday dates in July, we get all DJI's cameras and mics rolling out here. Well, again,
Don't say we.
West, we don't know. Marcus, sorry to cut you off.
Well, I was going to say, don't say we.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Somebody will have available. Lauren will have to come on again and show us the Canadian website so we can see them.
We're all going to be living vicariously through Lauren.
Yes.
Or hey, come up and fly with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit last week about whether we were interested in these products or not or whatever. But so they'll be coming out. And on the heels of that, Jasper Ellens over to Twitters. Of course, he writes for Drone XL. Jasper dropped a rumor bomb at the end of last week saying the Mini 5 will now be released in August. I forgot to put. He even had down to August 7th.
Oh, really?
So that's almost the week after the Mic 3 drops that Mini 5. Someplace, maybe not in the US, but in Canada, the Mini 5 will probably drop on the 7th, according to Jasper. So I know Lauren probably can't comment on this one, but
to be honest with you, I posted it a couple of days before Jasper mentioned.
okay. Well, maybe he got it from you.
I posted it from I just posted it in our drone group, right? So
Yeah, I've had it in my calendar already.
So you think that's a pretty good date there, Lauren?
it's lining up with everything I'm hearing. Yes.
Okay. So if John Coopy kind of confirmed in the chat that the Mini 5 did get FCC approval. So maybe that's a drone you could look again up to one of our resellers up in Canada or our buddies in South Korea. If that drone does have FCC approval here, of course, who knows what you'll pay for it out of country. But Marcus, now this is your what do you call your what was your quandary, your moral quandary again? I know you really want to get your hands on that Mini 5. Would you be willing to reach out to somebody outside the U.S. and have it shipped in?
I probably, because it has FCC approval, so it would be legal for me to fly here.
Right.
I would bring it in legally. I would declare it. I'd pay whatever tariffs and whatever it was.
Right.
And then it'd be perfectly legal.
What's the China tariff right now? Is what, 35%? Is it?
30%.
Is that right?
That sounds right, but we never really know here, Lauren, because you could buy one product that has a tariff. You could buy a similar product that doesn't have a tariff. It's like whack-a-mole. Like some things have them, some don't. It's not always the same. You cannot guarantee. You cannot get your calculator out and guarantee that everything from China is going to have a 35% tariff on it. That world doesn't exist.
Yeah, right.
So I'm searching that right now. 10% reciprocal tariff on imports, 20% on Chinese imports. Oh, the baseline is 10%. So then you add 20%. So, and now it's okay. Nearly all U.S. trading partners, 20% on all Chinese imports, pre-existing 25% levies on imports from China from Trump's first term. So I guess you'd go 25 plus 30, 55% total. Now understand that original 25% has been there since Trump's first term.
Recovery drone, Dre saying 60% was already 30 plus 35. Now you can add that current 30 more. So in other words, you need an accounting degree to figure out what these tariffs are going to be.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's 30%, but if I read this correctly, that's on top of the 25% that's been there for some time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not a tax. It was not a tax.
Yeah, I have another story here too. I think I have a link up here someplace. You know, I think I forgot to put up, but DJI put a white paper out last week, and I have a link here where you can go download the white paper, even get PDF and read all the way through it. It's many pages.
It's 100 pages though.
Yeah, it's a lot of reading, and it kind of goes down all their points in it about their security procedures and everything that they're doing right in the white paper. And well, Lauren, you've looked at it. What's your summary of the white paper? What just in a few words?
Really, it'd be tough to summarize it in a short thing,
Right.
because like it is 100 pages long. But all, make a long story short, they're with this document. They're crossing their T's and dotting their I's to say, look, this is what we've done. If you still want to, go against us and say we're bad people, then you're just proving our point that it is political, right?
Yep.
Because they've gone so far as challenge them. If you say that there's a security threat, show us, right? Because they've got their bug bounty that they've had for years. That if there's an issue, bring it forward so that they can fix it, right?
Yeah.
But they even talk about the bug bounty in the white paper, right? But
Right.
they document and explain all the stuff that they've done to make sure their drones are safe and legal, shall we say.
And Lauren, a lot of it, and they're talking about is in like the first main page is how a lot of their drones aren't in many cases aren't transmitting any data anyplace if you turn that off. These drones aren't that they make a point saying you can firmware update, you can do all this stuff without ever connecting to the internet.
And not only that, but the other thing, it doesn't matter what DJI does. It's just like having a gun owner. You can have a good gun owner or you can have a bad gun owner, right? Mm-hmm. It all depends on the person that's operating it, right? And it's like, well, you guys have got a law against it, but you don't go after Smith & Wesson because somebody shoots your brother, sister, mother, whatever. You don't go after the manufacturer of the equipment for the actions of an individual, right? Or an entity.
Except when it comes to drones.
Yep.
Hey, but the
drones, whatever
reason why that they do that is the gun manufacturers have enough money Pay the congressman
Yeah, yeah,
not to
yeah.
do it.
yeah,
Yeah. The lobbying. Yep.
yeah.
And there are gun companies that aren't here too. American companies.
So DeMarco,
18K. That's a German company.
so DeMarco, let me ask you then, what American company is going to build a consumer drone for us?
None. Right now, none.
Yeah.
Apple maybe, but no. They're not going to do it.
Ron,
But the
same
thing
question.
is, could you
No.
afford an Apple drone? Really?
No. It's made in China.
I'd have to give up my iPhone. Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I mean, here we can't buy any DJI drones now that the store is empty. But right now we have no American option. There is no AmericanDrone.co to go to buy equivalent American drones. Now, if DJI drone is if DJI is out of business, how many years will it take for those American drone companies to come in and sell the type of drones to us that DJI has been selling us? Lauren, I know from Canada, from the outside, how long do you think Americans will be able to buy American-made drones of the equivalent quality that we were getting from DJI?
Soonest 5 to 6 years.
At least.
Yeah,
Like I say, the
right?
soonest 5 to 6 years. You know,
Unless
And
they
you make the
like
point is, and the
technology
pricing
from
won't be
DJI.
the same, right? They won't sell. We won't be able to buy them at the same prices we're buying now.
oh no,
Right.
no. The labor market in the U.S. is so much more expensive than it is in China. So, but,
Yeah.
Ray,
Ron,
you have any hopes of buying an American drone anytime soon?
not
No.
not for consumer. No.
Yeah, right. That's my fear is these American drone companies, they'll be interested in making very expensive enterprise level drones, and that's going to be their focus.
It already is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess all we'll be left with is the bottom of the barrel Chinese drone company.
Hold it, Ron. Have you forgot about EXO down in Florida?
They're American drone company. Yeah,
They're an American drone company.
yeah.
That's what they're
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
you.
Thinking about it. Yeah.
Now,
Well, here, guys, I'll say
drones.
this. If we are left with the bottom of the barrel drones, sorry, guys. Sorry. Who are they? Who are they? Rolling Stone?
Femi, Potensic,
Amy.
Marcus, name a few other ones you've reviewed.
Good old Ruco.
But again,
Yeah.
those are all made in China, right?
All
Right,
of them. And that's
but
the
again, they haven't taken anything down from their websites, Lauren.
No.
And that's my point. You know, if it's all against China, then why are you not touching any of these other brands, right?
Right.
They're still made in China.
Exactly.
You're going after DJI, admit it, right?
Yeah. Just admit it. They forget to say every once in a while. Sometimes they say Chinese drones, and sometimes they forget to put it in there because they don't really care if somebody's running around selling a sub $300 drone in the U.S. They don't really care about those type of drones. They probably don't even know DJI makes a Mini 4K or whatever.
Oh, they do. Yeah, listen. We're kind of talking in circles because nobody knows anything. At the end of the day, none of us here have a clue of what it's all about, and we're just left swinging in the breeze.
Exactly.
Josh is asking where are these electronics for these U.S. drones we made at.
Yeah. Who's going to make those motors? Who's going to make those ESCs? Who's going to make? That's the point. It's just
Dre makes a good point too with the American drone companies. Yep. They dropped consumers a few years back. Remember?
Yeah. American drone companies want big fat government contracts.
Exactly.
That's. I'm glad you brought that up, Captain Ray, because I remember, and Ron, you too. Ron and I both bought that Skydio too. I still have mine. We were so excited about that product.
We thought we were getting like another Mavic drone or something.
But I knew it wasn't going to be quite as what we were used to, but it was the promise of an American company building consumer drones for Americans, and there's a lot of things that drone will still do better than anything that DJI has, and there's a lot of stuff that it's not even close on. So, but the point of it is, like just like Dre said, Skydio said we're not going to do that, because as soon as they started getting money from investors, they went after military contracts, commercial contracts, repeated revenue. In other words, subscription revenue.
Yep.
All their stuff, you got to buy a subscription for the software to run it. Anyway, I'm just starting to get myself revved up here. It's like so frustrating.
Right. It's not all sunshine, light, pops, and rainbows tonight.
I'm going back out to the drag strip. Nobody's bugging me.
Yeah, bring that truck out there, Mark.
Lauren, I think I'm going to get back into real hand, real cameras, Lauren.
Don't worry. All your politicians will come to their senses and cancel everything, and we'll all go back to normal.
So it is all sunshine, light, pops, and rainbows, huh, Lauren? Well, I do see Alltel. Dre's saying you don't see Alltel. Alltel's, their names mentioned once in a while, but yeah, I bet you go to the Alltel's website, their drones are still for sale.
You know what they don't have? I looked on there the other day. They don't have the Nano anymore, Ron.
No.
Yeah, you told me that. I didn't realize the Nano.
Okay.
But the Nano was. I know some people loved the camera on the the one Nano, but really it was a failed drone.
Jeff Norman flew his Nano last night. Yeah,
really?
Me. Yeah.
I've still got it sitting back here.
Get it up here. It's a classic. It may be the only drone you're flying here soon, Marcus.
Let's show it off. We might as well.
I called it a mini. He said, "No, this is the Nano."
Nano, yeah, the Nano, the orange Nano.
This one's red.
Oh yeah, the red one.
You got the red one. That's right. I remember that.
I put the orange one in the drink.
Well, I had an orange one, Ray.
Yeah, I put the drink.
I know. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's not orange anymore in the bottom of the
it's still there.
The Jensen Causeway.
It's covered with barnacles. Yeah.
Barnacle Bill now.
It's still there.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad I wasn't on the controller.
Listen, that was an unfortunate situation that was nobody's fault.
I know.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, absolutely.
The propeller, right? It was the propeller.
We got Captain Joe in the chat here. I would have said thoughts and prayers out to Captain Joe. I forgot him at the beginning of Joe.
Yep.
Captain Joe had a little accident and he was in the hospital recently. I hope he's home now. And he did lose his little he loves that little FPV drone. What's the Avata 2? It was a bad week for Joe. He lost the Avata 2. He wound up in the hospital, but
Johnny had a friend do a reconnaissance and he saw it in the tugboat. But he couldn't get it because he didn't have a long enough stick.
Joe's already got his insurance on it, and he's ordered another one. So it all turns out well. But Joe also makes a good point. It's VCopter Nation. The little VCopter Mini. We were all in Florida for the meetup during the launch of that product. A lot of us ordered it on the kind of the Kickstarter type thing, and it was supposed to come in June. Well, by my counter, it's June 23. And when I went to school, there were 30 days in June. So we got 7 days left for that little mini to arrive.
I predict we ain't getting it in June.
I hope it's not stuck in customs someplace. But all the big channels all got their models at the end of May. So they did get off somewhat of a run, at least for the reviewers.
Actually,
have you heard anything about the little VCopter Mini?
I'm waiting on it just like you guys.
Oh, okay.
Waiting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, food for thought. We're talking about who's going to step up to the plate if they get rid of DJI in the U.S. Basically, if you're a company and you want to sell drones, would you not be wary that you could be treated the same as DJI was?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Wouldn't that kind of put a damper on making a drone? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could wind up. Yeah. You do something. Yeah.
You know, when Sony came out with that commercial drone thing, I was kind of hoping that maybe a company like them would start making. I mean, they're a consumer electronics company, right? I thought it would be cool if Sony started getting into drones. Okay, Ron, I'm going to throw something at Ron here since he's our camera guy. Ron, what about GoPro? Could GoPro get back into it?
Nah, no way.
Oh, it would leave an opening for them, since if they had the Karma around now, they wouldn't have to compete with the equivalent DJI drone.
If they had continued to develop drones, just think where they would be right now, right? GoPro. Just think if
they also had money back then too. Now they don't.
Yeah.
I just sold my GoPro stock finally. I got rid of it.
Yeah.
They're good now. Now with that raised money, there's no drone coming. But that's a good point, Marcus. They would have the market all to themselves now.
Yeah.
They'd be the only American drone company.
You see what Mike is saying? So
at least July, and US do the customs. Okay.
Everything is going to get blamed on customs now, right? It's going to be the standard.
The custom guy controls our whole drone future.
Yeah.
That's our customs guy.
Hey, Bill. How you doing, Bill? Sorry to hear you're sick. Get well soon.
Hope you feel better.
Yeah. We at the top of the show. Poor Bill, his team won the Stanley Cup. Sorry about that, Lauren. Canada had a chance to win the cup for the first time in 30 years, and the Panthers stole it away.
Yeah.
It must have been so exciting being at the game, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're rooting for the Panthers.
Yeah. Well, a friend of mine does all the drone work for all the games up in Edmonton.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So any aerial shots that you've seen of the cup there, or even during the season, if you watch the Oilers, a friend of mine, Matt, does all that drone work.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Lauren, how far away are you from Edmonton?
About 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
They got a great mall up there.
At one time, it was the biggest mall in North America.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Huh.
I believe the Mall of America is bigger than that now.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of malls in America are going out of business, Lauren.
That is a big mall, though. I've been there myself.
Which one?
The Mall of America.
Yeah, never been.
Yeah.
Never been.
Well, the one by you is pretty big, too, in Jersey. The American Dream or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's North Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, do they have a DJI store at that mall?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I thought I was on to something.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to that DJI store in New York today. Are their shells bare too? Ray, that DJI store in New York City.
I know.
Shells bare over there?
They really took advantage of the consumers. They did. That's how I look at it. I'm looking at it now in retrospect. They really took advantage. That wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, it's only 10 o'clock, but we've talked through a whole lot of subjects tonight, haven't we?
We kind of beat it to death, and the reason is because we're all frustrated, and when we don't have any answers, we're all kind of spitting in the wind. We don't really have any answers.
The biggest thing, in the air. Like I say, the biggest thing is you got to exercise your rights as a voter and put pressure on your government to, I hate to say it, but shit or get off the pot.
Right.
How many letters do I have to write, Lauren?
Well, how many? How long do you want to keep flying?
Well, that's a great point. All I'm saying is that I know all of us in this room have written letters to our congressman and called our congressman and so forth, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Alex Escoto makes a good point, though. Fly what you got. You
That's
know?
a good point. I got some nice stuff to
That used
fly
to be
back
that used to be
here.
our logo, but now it goes from just like a logo to it's fact now. You can only fly what you got because you can't order.
Things will get worse before they get better.
You better stop selling drones, Marcus. You got to build up the stock.
Yeah, you should have been. Yeah, you shouldn't let any drones go because you had a couple accidents or whatever. You need every drone you can here now.
Even the Rucos and the Holy Stones.
Those might be your best drones.
That may be all you're flying next year.
Yikes!
That may be all there is. 107 says no new drones to talk about. Just say, well, no new DJIs. A lot of Rokus to talk about.
I'm charging batteries on that little on the little Nano right now. So
Johnny's done right now.
I'm going to take my Air 2S off the marketplace.
yeah. Take it down. Take all DJI drones down, or put them back up when they're priceless.
Well, Lauren told me I sold my Mavic 3 Pro too cheap, and maybe so.
Well, now you should have sold for more than you paid for it.
Yeah.
John Flynn says it's fatiguing being a drone enthusiast, at least in the U.S.
It is.
And Richard says drone owners are too small of a group to influence the government.
I totally agree with that. I think that's the case. We're not a big enough constituency to
little.
Yeah.
That's why we all need to rate 100 letters a piece. That'll like 10 times our.
Yeah.
Market is selling too early. Barkley says.
Well, just do it like they do with the phony ballots. Send in phony letters.
yeah, right. Hey, Alex says I have a Mini 3 Pro. I may sell for $2,100. Battery only. You pay shipping.
Battery only.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good, Alex. He's happy though. He's got his Air 3S, so he's happy.
And he's the one. Can I keep this a secret, Ray? He ordered the Nano.
Oh, really?
Keep that under your hat.
The Nano?
The Neo.
Oh.
He could order the Nano. The only Nano he could order was yours, Marcus.
Yeah.
Look, like Lauren says, Marcus, you're selling good drones like the Mavic 3 Pro, but you're keeping the Nano.
Because I don't think I could get $2,000 for this one like I did the.
Oh, I thought you said you could get $2.
Yeah.
Hold on to it, Marcus.
Gary's happy with his Air 2S still. And I love that Air 2S. I do.
Oh, it's a great drone. Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I've got mine.
You got yours, Lauren? Yeah. I got mine.
The Air 2S was the first drone that I remember from DJI that was the first time you flew it, you go, wow, that's powerful. Its ascent speed and descent speed were faster than anything before it. And it was a very athletic drone.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to fly mine tomorrow.
Look what Josh says there. The Neo was one heck of a drone. Remember, Josh, he didn't have the Neo. He saw all his flying Neo around the meetup, and he went home and immediately ordered one.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, you got to fly the Neo the first time when I let you fly at Sawgrass Park that day.
I know. I was impressed with it too. I really was. Yeah.
What's the oldest drone you guys have got?
And then Johnny let me fly his too. Yeah.
Sorry, Lauren, what was your question?
What's the oldest drone you guys have?
Probably the Air 2S.
Mini 3 Pro.
I am thinking maybe the original Mavic Mini, probably, or probably the original Mavic Mini.
Right?
You're talking about a mini drone or any drone?
Any drone.
I still like the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Pro.
No, but is that your oldest one?
Oh, oldest? I'm sorry. Right now in my current fleet, it's the Air 2S is my oldest. Yeah.
How far do you go back, Lauren?
I've got the original Mavic.
Oh wow, a dinosaur.
Wow, is right.
So what people forget about that original Mavic Pro is, I remember, I was thinking back, and I remember flying it in the wind sometimes, and you could not make any progress in much wind at all. It would almost just, you could have it full stick forward, and it would just sit there trying to go against the wind. It just didn't have the kind of power to cut through the wind that today's drones have.
But some of the features that it had, or has, I shouldn't say had, but has, like DJI dropped, but brought them back now. Like the camera rotated.
Yeah,
It did, didn't it? It did, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
You're right. That from a technology and feature standpoint, that drone was way ahead of his time, Lauren.
oh yeah.
Well, I have to say, Lauren Donauer, Johnny showed the video of Lauren Donauer doing his maiden flight with the Mavic 4 Pro, and that 360-degree feature that it has, I thought it was so cool. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it, Lauren?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's just
Under the hood asks, as good as the Air 2S is the Air 3S, is it better?
Oh yeah, the Air 3S is way better. Yeah.
Oh no, he's saying it is. He's saying it is in his humble opinion.
Yeah, it's way better. I mean, but that's not a cut against the Air 2S. The Air 2S is awesome.
Right.
Yes, the Air 3S has
the
more
Air 3S
features.
better be better. It's like 3 years newer or something.
Yeah, and a lot more expensive. Yeah.
Bill Grace's oldest drone is the unique 500 plus. There's
Wow.
a timer.
Yep.
He's got you beat, Lauren.
yep.
And remember back in that era, we had other drone makers besides DJI. We had Unique. We had it was several drone companies that were making kind of state of the art drones that just went away.
Yep.
What's the one drone where you had to put the GoPro in the front of it and fly? It was
The Karma Chameleon. The Karma?
Karma?
before the Karma. I think these guys were American company. I'm probably not made in America.
Well, there was
They had
the,
Phantom, right? The original Phantom.
well, the original Phantom required it. Phantom 1.
Yeah,
Right.
but this drone's newer than that. It
But,
was
as well as the Blade drones.
Blade Chroma. Yeah.
No,
Which
not
some-
the Chroma. The like the Blade 350.
Okay.
Blade 350. Those came out before the Chroma did.
Okay.
And like my first decent drone was a Blade 350 QX3.
Okay.
Which had its own camera. It didn't have the. It was the first one to have its own camera that didn't require the GoPro. So.
Right.
3 years so long. Yeah.
But a lot of those companies, is it because DJI made such good drones that they just put them right out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
What was the one from
here, Brad got it, the 3-door solo.
Yeah.
They really pushed hard for a while. You went to Best Buy and they had 3-door solos all over the place, and the salespeople were trying to push them to you over the Phantoms.
Well, that guy was an ex-DJI employee too. What was his name, Lauren? The guy that did 3DR Solo, started that company. He was a buddy of Frank Wang's, and he split off and started that company.
Yeah, I'm not remember.
I can't remember his name, but anyway.
And they tried real hard with that drone, but they never came out with the second one.
Frank Wang had the last laugh, didn't he?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What was that company from 4 or 5 years ago? I've said it before,
Yeah.
though, but I forgot.
Yeah.
the name.
Skydio.
They built
No,
that
no,
roll.
not
That roll
Skydio.
fancy
It
looking
never
drone,
came out.
yeah. I can't think of
The props came out during a flight on someone's channel.
Oh yeah, the carbon fiber
Yeah.
jigger.
Can't
Yeah, I
think
don't
of it.
remember.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
saw
Lauren,
Lauren,
Mike
I
Wright's
saw
saying the Blade 350 QX is the Chroma. He still has it.
Okay.
No, before the Chroma came out, because the Chroma had the real whizzy controller, right?
Mm.
So it there was one before the Chroma came out.
Okay.
So-
Richard says first drone was the SEMA 5 X5C. I had the X5C. That was the drone everybody learned on in the old days. Completely manual.
So, Ron, what I'm sharing with you right now,
Yeah. Let me get it up here. There we go. Get the comment.
this was taken in 2015.
Oh wow.
And that was with the Blade 350 QX3.
3-axis
okay.
gimbal, Lauren.
What's that?
3-axis gimbal on that.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, look at that. Look how studied the first
That's a nice clear picture.
for 2015. It sure is.
The biggest thing is you see a little bit of jello in there, and not only that, but you get a real curved horizon if you go up too high, and quite a yellow tint to it, right?
Yeah.
Don't feel bad, Lauren. Marcus still reviews drones that have jello and crooked horizons.
Yeah, that Snaptane drone that I just reviewed. Yeah.
So these numbers that you see here, those are all regiments from Calgary that were in World Wars.
Oh, they're really there. I thought maybe you'd put them on the screen or something.
No,
Wow.
no. Those are regimental numbers from the World Wars.
World War II.
That's kind of what I was trying to
Okay.
capture.
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, the quality of the video is actually
That's
pretty darn
amazing for
good.
2015, Lauren.
Nice flight, Lauren.
Here's what I was looking for. Snaptane right there.
Snaptane.
Yeah.
Who needs a gimbal?
Who needs a gimbal? Yeah.
Anyway, you probably started seeing that. So
Nice footage. Thanks for sharing that, Lauren.
I'd rather have a Bugs 3, Ron.
But
Yeah. Give me my Bug 3 back. hey, Warren says I should check out his local Circuit City for DJI drones. Anybody remember Circuit City? Marcus has to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Circuit
it's dinner
City.
time.
There's here, and we're going to wrap the show up. We're at the 10:17 mark. We covered all the subjects, but I want to thank our mystery guest Ray for joining us tonight. I know Ray told me we were both kind of concerned about the drones being taken off the DJI web store. And Lauren, thanks for coming on and helping us. Showing us some of the Canadian DJI sites and the differences between the Canadian and the American stores. They're drastic. You guys are in stock and we're out of stock.
right.
I know.
So
Thanks for having me on, Ron,
Oh,
Marcus, and DeMarco. I
we're so
appreciate
glad
it.
to have you
My
on.
pleasure.
And I don't have any answers for anybody out there, whether any of these new products we talked about tonight will be coming to the DJI US store, unknown at this time. Mini 5 Pro, whether it be available in US, unknown.
In the immortal words of Alex Siscardo, fly what you got.
Just fly what you
there you
got until the DJI store gets restocked in the US or the American drones start selling. Or wait for the V-Copter Mini coming to a mailbox near you soon or whatever if you pre-ordered it.
Well, we'll see.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Or else you're out there $199 you paid ahead of time.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm not expecting too much. I only bought it just for the novelty.
Same here. Here. Just to get it out.
It'll be an experience. I think it's going to be a good experience, though.
Lauren, did you get to fly Johnny's full-size V-Copter in Florida when
Yes.
you were down there last year?
No, but I've flown them before.
Okay, yeah.
I've flown the full size before. One of our guys here has one, so
Yeah.
I've flown that.
Yeah. All right. We're going to say good night. So I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat. We want to thank the guests, everybody in chat. A lot of great comments tonight, questions, concerns. I'm sorry we don't have more happy, upbeat shows of lately, but for a drone lover and the real option in the U.S. to get a good, high quality camera drone is DJI. So that's why we're in in the state we're in. I mean,
In the funk.
we just don't have alternatives here. We need alternatives, but we don't have them.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Holy Stone.
Holy cow.
holy drone. Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Wherever you are.
Good night,
I know the
everybody.
heat wave is all over the U.S. and Canada now. So good night.
Buy something used first before I get a Holy Stone.
Fly